Ever wondered what it actually takes to build an AI from the ground up? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain. We're going to build a simple, but honestly a really powerful AI that solves a problem pretty much all of us have. Let's dive in.
You know the feeling, right? It's been a long day, finally flop down on the couch, and then you spend the next 30 minutes just scrolling and scrolling, trying to find anything to watch. It's that paradox of choice, and it's just exhausting. But what if, instead of all that endless scrolling, you could just ask for what you're in the mood for? Imagine building your very own personalized movie recommendation bot. That's exactly what we're going to do, and we're going to break down how it all works step by step.
All right, so every great project starts with two things: a solid idea and the right set of tools. So first up, let's get our virtual workbench all set up and ready to go.
Now, the star of the show for us today is this fantastic open source library called Llama Index. And really, the best way to think about it is like an AI construction kit. It gives us all the pre-built parts we need to connect an AI brain to our own specific data, which in our case is going to be a list of movies.
So at its heart, our bot works in a really simple three-step loop. First, you ask it a question. Second, the AI zips through its memory to retrieve the right info. And third, it uses that info to generate a useful response. Ask, retrieve, respond. That's it. That's the heartbeat of this entire application.
Okay, so we've got our toolkit, and we understand the basic process. But what are the actual building blocks here? Let's take a look at the two specialized brains that are going to make our AIs smart.
And this is a really crucial point. An AI app like this isn't just one giant all-knowing brain. To actually work its magic, our bot needs two different kinds of specialized models, and each one has a very specific job to do.
This little analogy explains it perfectly. So, on one side, we've got the librarian. This is what's called our embedding model, and it's a specialist in understanding and organizing data. Its only job is to neatly categorize all our movie info so it's super easy to search. Then, on the other side, we've got the storyteller. This is our language model, and it's great at conversation. Its job is to understand your question, take the movies that the librarian found, and then weave it all into a clear, helpful, human-sounding answer. You see? Two different skills working together as the perfect team. So we have our tools, and we've got our two specialized AI models, but right now they're basically blank slates. They don't know a thing about movies. So the next big step is to actually give our bot its knowledge base, to give it its brain.
So how do we actually feed this AI? Well, we start with our raw data, just a simple list of movies. Then, for each movie, we take its info and we put it onto a digital index card. In the code, this is called a document. And finally, we feed this whole stack of digital index cards into a system that organizes them perfectly for our librarian model.
And that digital library has a fancy name. It's called a vector store index. Now, I know the name sounds a little complicated, but the idea is actually pretty simple. It takes all that text about each movie and turns it into a string of numbers, a vector, that represents its meaning. So movies that are similar in meaning get similar sets of numbers. This lets our librarian find related movies almost instantly just by comparing the numbers. It's the secret sauce that makes our AI's memory so fast and so effective.
All right, the setup is done. The librarian has organized the entire library, the storyteller is ready to chat. Now it's time for the really fun part. Let's see our movie rec bot in action.
Okay, the whole system is up and running. Let's put on our user hat and ask our brand new AI assistant for a movie recommendation. And boom, there it is. Look at that. The user just types one word, horror. Behind the scenes, the librarian instantly finds the closest matches in that vector store index, and the storyteller grabs that data and formats it into this perfectly clean, helpful list. We've got The Exorcist, The Shining. It works. This is the magic of the whole system coming together.
You know, this movie bot is a really cool example, but the technology that we just walked through is capable of so much more. And the really important thing to get is that this exact same framework can be applied to almost any kind of data you can imagine.
I mean, just think about it for a second. That same ask, retrieve, respond loop, it's what powers product recommendations on your favorite shopping site. It can be used to build a search engine for all of a company's private documents. It's the core of pretty much every modern customer service chatbot. It can analyze social media sentiment, and it can even work across dozens of languages. The potential here is absolutely enormous. So, all of that brings us to the final question. Now that you've seen the building blocks, you've met the librarian, the storyteller, you've seen how to feed it data, it really gets you thinking, doesn't it? If you could point this technology at any set of information out there, What kind of AI helper would you build?